Assalamu alaikum, I'm Waleed Al Salih, and welcome to this special program coming to you from the Dammam studios of Saudi Arabian television in the Eastern Province, where only 2 weeks ago, the relatively small town of Al-Qadih was the target or was the center of news after the Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib Mosque was the target of a terrorist attack that left 21 people dead and over 102 injured during Friday prayers, an act that shocked the entire nation and especially shocked the community in the eastern region. Only 1 week later, in the district of Al-عنود, the Imam Hussein bin Ali Mosque was also targeted in a suicide attack that wasn't conducted completely and took the lives of 4 individuals and injured 3. The terrorist attack that happened merely days ago was, some people can say that it was thwarted, but the lives of 4 innocent men was taken, and they were definitely considered heroes in standing in the face of the terrorist. We're going to go with a short report before I introduce my guests and get a little information about how the people in the eastern region are reacting to this act, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Share your feelings when you heard about the news.
Very sorry to say this is to me, I can't believe it. First of all, we are here in Islamic country. I cannot believe that we are here and we have terrorists. Especially we are here in Saudi Arabia, in Islamic country, and also we are in a very big, a very big country, which all the people is Muslims. Not allowed to anybody to do that. So we are here to say, to be careful about this. Even it's happened in the mosque. They are prayers. I cannot believe that they are killing the one who is praying. If we are in war, okay, you can go to the war and kill the other. But the one who is praying, I don't know. I don't know what they are thinking about.
When I hear the news about the incident, what happened in Qatif as well as in Dammam, it was shocking to us. Being as a Muslims, we should not bifurcate any is a Sunni or the Shia, whatever it may be. And first of all, it is not the right place where they have been done in Masjid. Masjid is a place where everybody comes and asks for the forgiveness from Allah and for the unity of all the people. I'll request all the people not to do anything and not to get panic on all this. And apart from that, I feel very sorry, extremely deep. Even I felt very hard to the people who lost their beloved ones. It's extremely sorry to hear the news. And again, we'll request all the public not to get panic once again.
I feel so sorry for this happening in Qatif or any else city, this tourism attack. And tourism had no religion. We feel so sorry for their family and beloved.
And welcome back, dear viewers. Joining me in the studio here in Dammam, we have Mr. Jaafer Al Shayeb. He's a writer and human rights activist. Mr. Jaafer, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
And we also have Mr. Essa Al Moz'el. He's a previous elected member of the Qatif Municipality Council. Welcome to the program, Mr. Essa.
Thank you.
And of course, we also have Dr. Ali Al-Hamad, a dentist at Aramco Hospital. Welcome to the program.
Thanks a lot.
And of course, we also have Mr. Mesha'al Al Enaizy. He's a training professional. Welcome to the program, Mr. Mesha'al.
Thank you.
Now, all of my guests here are residents of the Eastern Province, and each one of them has his own story or his own view to present to us today. And I'd like to start with Mr. Jaafer Al Shayeb. Mr. Jaafer, you were present at the first terrorist attack that occurred in the mosque at Al-Qadih. You came right after the explosion happened, during all the chaos. What can you tell us about what happened?
Well, I was there like about 10 minutes after the attack took place, and a medium-sized mosque, about 200 people were praying on Friday, the 22nd of May.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like around 12:15 when a suicide bomber he entered the mosque while people were praying, and he exploded the bomb with himself. Immediately after that, I heard about it, so I went there. It was lots of crowds of people. They are coming to help, the injured people and to take them to the hospitals, to the nearest hospitals, and the clinics around by ambulances. Also, there's a huge crowd outside the mosque itself, with the police cars and fire department cars. People were shouting, and they are trying to support the physicians and doctors to remove the bodies and take them to the hospitals. It was, very sad situation there among the people. They were very angry against the attackers and against, these tourist people. And at the same time, they were, sadness, because everybody was like, nobody expected, like, this to take place in a mosque on Friday, where everybody is going to pray in the mosque. So 21 people are murdered, died in the hospital immediately in the same day, and one, he was in a coma for a week, and he died last week. So a total of 22 deaths who died after this attack, plus the injured people. It left around 67 from the families who lost, their household, their fathers or husbands, in the small community of 30,000 people in Qudih.
Well, now just 1 week after the Al-Qadih incident, the Imam Hussein Mosque in Al-عنود district in Dammam was also targeted in an attack. And Dr. Ali Al-Hamad, who's joining us in the studio, he lost his cousins in that attack. His cousins were outside of the mosque. They were at the gate, and they actually they were part of the people who actually stood and blocked the terrorists from entering the mosque. Dr. Ali, can you tell us your witness account of what occurred and about your cousins?
Yeah, and excuse me if I get a little bit emotional about it.
Of course.
But I was going down the stairs, walking toward the mosque, when I heard the explosion. It was a shock. I was not expecting, but I was afraid that a repeat attack might happen, especially after what happened in Al-Qadih.
Yeah.
And when I heard the explosion, the first thing that came to my mind that probably another terrorist has blown up himself and inside the mosque. So I started running toward the mosque, expecting that probably hundreds of people are killed or injured, just because this mosque is much bigger than the mosque in Al-Qadih.
This mosque has a capacity of about
3,000 to
3,000.
5,000. Yeah, that's my estimate. I was running there when I saw people running away from the mosque, and when I arrived, there was smoke and fire behind the mosque. So I ran to that side, and it was a horrific scene. There was limbs and flesh scattered all around the place, blood on the walls. A lot of people are crying. There were police, quite a lot of them, compared to the short time between between the explosion and when I arrived at the scene. And then I stayed there for about half an hour, trying to keep the crowd away, trying to prevent people from entering the mosque. Later I learned that the Imam, Sayyid Ali al-Nasr, has ordered them to stay inside as a precautionary measure.
And they finished the prayer.
And they finished the prayer, and we just stood outside, preventing people from coming inside. We didn't want more people getting inside the mosque. And then I went back home, and I was shaken, and immediately I opened the social media and tried to figure out what people are saying about it and what happened. And I was shocked that three of my cousins, Abdul Jalil Al-Arbash, Muhammad Al-Arbash, and Muhammad Al-Isa were among. Well, actually, Muhammad Al-Arbash was never found. They only found the bodies of Muhammad Al-Isa and Abdul Jalil Al-Arbash because they were intact. They were a little bit further away from the explosion, and they soon announced them dead. And they were looking for Muhammad for a long time, for hours, looking for him and calling for him and trying to find someone who saw him after the explosion. No one knew that he was there and he was killed. And after the DNA results came, it turned out that him and another person, Sayyid Abdul Hadi Al-Hashim, also were
they were the closest
killed.
ones.
They were
to
the
terrorists.
closest ones, yes, and they got shattered. Well, what happened, as we learned later from media reports and from eyewitness accounts, is that a woman went to the women's entrance and tried to get in, but she found that the door is closed, so she went to the other side of the mosque, the men's section, and was faced by those volunteers searching people, and they told her that there are no women, and she showed some suspicious actions, and she tried to force herself inside. And they held her. They found out it's a man wearing an abaya, and they called for help. And there was he was a kid that ran to the police to tell them about it. But this terrorist exploded himself and killed the others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is probably what I can say about it.
Well, first of all, personally, on my behalf, I want to extend my condolences to you personally for your loss, and to the entire families of all the victims in these two terrorist actions, from me personally and from Saudi television. What I want to ask now to my guests here, basically, is the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is no stranger to terrorist attacks. Saudi Arabia has been fighting Al-Qaeda for over close to 15 years now. And now we're fighting a different enemy, a different terrorist organization, ISIS. ISIS took responsibility for these attacks. They claimed responsibility, and they wrote on social media. They put out the identity of the person who executed these attacks. Now, there's a key difference between the attacks that Saudi Arabia used to have before and these attacks that we have now. Before, the attacks were targeted at government sites. They were targeted at key sites, professional sites, stuff like that. But now they're targeting mosques, and not just any mosques, mosques of a minority in Saudi Arabia. And there is a key difference that you can kind of deduce from this plan. Mr. Issa, how would you comment on the difference of these attacks?
On 22nd of May 2015, a terrorist attack took place in Qadih. Now, 7 months ago, something similar happened by the same organization, a terrorist organization called Daesh. Mm-hmm. We knew it's coming. Everybody knew it's coming. We didn't know how it would come. It came by killing 7-8 people in Dalwa.
Yes.
Everybody who was involved was saying, be careful, be cautious. Those guys are to the... They made Al-Qaeda as a dove. They are to the very left of Al-Qaeda. They have done it in Syria, they have done it in Iraq, and they told us, after we got involved, our nation, Saudi Arabia, was involved in the coalition against Daesh, that we're coming to get you. Now, they are targeting the nation. The war is not against the Shiites only.
Yeah.
But we are the weakest link. There is, a circle. They addressed the weakest link. They're coming after everybody else.
Yeah.
In Iraq, they targeted Christians, they targeted Zaydis, they targeted all kinds of people. So they're coming, they are attacking, they're going to attack everybody. They have declared a war. we haven't taken them seriously enough.
Yeah.
After what they did in Dalwa. 15 days, 2 weeks ago, they have also attacked a mosque. The same way they did it in Iraq. They've been doing it all over. They were able to penetrate. Now the question would always be, why Qatif? Why Qadih? Why the Shiites? It's because it's the weakest link. It's because the environment, allows Shiites to be killed. And maybe some people will say, well, maybe they deserve it. Maybe they are part of mushrikeen, that they have to be, cleansed from the Jazirat al-Arab, from the Arabian Peninsula. So this is just an issue they raise to make people believe that they are targeting Shiites only, but they are going after everybody. And as Saudi Arabia as a nation has to be ready to face what's coming next. We the May 22nd is our 9/11.
Yes, true.
After that, the United States declared a war against Al-Qaeda. We have to declare a war against Daesh, inside and out. What the king had said after what happened in Qadih is a declaration of a clear declaration of what to be done. Two people here inside the kingdom who would even sympathize with people like Daesh. And we have, as we did in the south, we have to do something in the north against those who are targeting our citizens. We shouldn't just leave it as it is, and we have to have a strategy, complete strategy.
Indeed. So now, when we to answer my question about the difference between these two attacks, between the attacks before that was being done by Al-Qaeda and the attacks now by Daesh, I wanted to see if you agreed with my point of view that the Shia minority in Saudi Arabia was an easy target because it's the best way to part of the community. Once you target a minority, you alienate the minority from the rest of the community. Would you agree with me on that?
Definitely, it's a divisive. They are trying to make a war between the citizens themselves.
To break the unity.
Because yes, if they have targeted different mosques, just a mosque, and saying we want to terrorize. Now they're targeting Shiites, and they're saying, who killed those Shiites? He's somebody who is part of the kingdom, who is a Saudi, but he's a Sunni Saudi. Then maybe Shiites should also target a Sunni mosque. What happened after Dalwa and what happened after the nation has united, was united against this kind of thinking. They have failed to do that. As a people, we have succeeded last time in Dalwa and this time, but we need to do more. The government has to do more. There has to be a law saying that whoever is even sympathize has to be penalized, has to be held accountable. They have done that. They're going to go after. Now they're saying those Rawafid Shiites. Then they would say this is a Tash Bahar or something else. They will target they've done it. We know how they work.
Each and every different sector of the kingdom to make that sector feel alienated from the rest of the kingdom, thus breaking the unity.
Yes.
Now, what we want to talk about is probably think of how we can prevent these kind of actions from working. When you talk about a suicide attack on a mosque, it's possible to limit the effects of a suicide attack, but is it possible to completely prevent it? When you say, yes, we will have this mosque, we will guard all the entrances to the mosque, so the farthest somebody with ill intention can do is do what was done in Al-Anud, which is basically prematurely detonate the bomb at the gate. So you cannot really prevent a suicide bomber from bombing any establishment, may it be a mosque, a school, a government building, even a supermarket, even a shopping mall. What you can do is merely stop them at the door. What we want to do is, how do we stop that strategy? How do we stop that? What made that terrorist attack occur? What made that strategy occur? Basically, what gave them the idea? And with Al-Anud it was different. With Al-Anud, the person wore a abaya, meaning that they wanted to enter into the women's side. They wanted to kill women and children, to enrage the Shia more. Because you can go in and you can kill 40 men, but it would be more devastation if you killed 40 women. So that was the intention, and that was why the person went to the north gate, as Dr. Ali said, and found it closed because there was no prayer for women that day, and then went down to the south gate. What I want to ask Mr. Jaafer is how do we prevent basically the aftermath of what the terrorist attacks are trying to achieve, basically breaking the unity of Saudi Arabia? It seems in every country in the world, in every culture in the world, you have different communities living side by side. The eastern region, in my opinion, is the most diversified part of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Bar none. No other region is as diverse as the eastern region. You can never find people from different religious sects and from also different races living together in harmony as it is in the eastern region. But still you have those little differences, those little stereotypes, and I think that this is what made the terrorist attacks happen, trying to pick at these little differences and make them huge. How can we go about solving that?
Well, I think Saudi Arabia, as you mentioned, in fact, we have diverse sects and diverse region, diverse communities in the country who have been living side by side for decades without any problems, very close relations. And in fact, the solidarity between people showed, in the last those incidents that took place in Al-Ahsa and Al-Qudih and Al-Anud, where people, they are coming from different regions just to come and to sympathize with the people here in the Eastern Province, with the Shia and with intellectuals who are writing in the newspapers. They are supporting the families and the community here. I think these groups, they grow in an environment that we know, for a long time, many people were saying that this environment will lead to the growth of these radical terrorist people, because what they are doing is they just they don't accept other interpretations. They have one line of thinking, believe they are the true Muslims, and the others, they are not true Muslim, even the government. And if they are not true Muslims, so they have to be killed.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot, accept any kind of diversity. So this line, I think, which in fact we find it sometimes with some of the religious groups who they don't accept tolerance, they don't accept diversity in the community, through their speeches, through their different way of thinking. Now, I think to resolve this this problem, this crisis that we are in, there are like immediate actions needs to be taken, including security measures, which is very important. People here, they are not aware how to protect themselves, how to protect the gatherings. We have many religious rituals. Many people, they are going to mosque 5 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
We have weddings, we have celebrations, we have many gatherings, and those terrorists, they can choose any gathering to do their crimes. So educating people of how to protect these kinds of gathering through the media, through different seminars, through cooperation between security officers and security officers and the people themselves. I think
Mm-hmm.
that will help.
Raising awareness, telling them what
to do.
What you can identify as suspicious and what you can.
And if there's like, for example, if there's like a bomb took place in some, how to react, how to deal with it,
Mm-hmm.
because in many cases people, they are just doing it without any knowledge, and sometimes they make a chaos because of their of being not aware what to do. I think that's very important at this stage. And I believe that long-term solutions has to be also developed through alienating these radical groups by having a clear laws in the country, even those, as Mr. Issa was saying, who sympathize or support or write in favor of these terrorist groups. I think that's very important, and as I understand, and the Majlis al-Shura, they are proposing a law of national unity law, which is supposed to, to help in this area also. And I believe creating the environment of accepting the others, of accepting diversity, of accepting the the multiplicity in the Saudi community, the Shia, the Sunni, the Ismailis, the Sufis, all of them are Saudi citizens, although they have different religious sect.
Yes.
But they are all under the umbrella of Saudi Arabia citizenship.
Yes, true. And this is where I want to go with Mesha'al. Mesha'al, moving or carrying on with what Mr. Jaafer was saying, we need to enhance the unity that we have here. And unfortunately, not many people speak about this, but we need to admit that we do have a problem in Saudi Arabia, which is that a large part of Saudis are racists. We have a racism problem, and it comes down to basically the atmosphere that we were raised in. How would you comment on that, and how it probably may have led to a miseducation among some youth that really made them believe that joining ISIS is a smart thing to do?
Well, first of all, I would like to thank you for bringing this important point very clearly. Okay, racism, this is a killing issue that actually we need to deal with. In order to solve any problem, okay, I think the first step is to admit this problem. I think we, at personal level, at government level, we need to admit that there is a problem. We can blame. We can, for the whole of our future, we can blame ourselves. We can blame somebody outside, okay. We can find someone to blame, some enemies, okay, to blame. But I believe we need now to take responsibility, to live up to responsibility and admit that we have a problem here, okay, in our country, that we need to be tolerant. We need to live together, find common grounds, okay. I believe a decision needs to be made clearly that there is no tolerance with intolerant people. Okay, I think this is the first step. Then there are for sure short-term solutions and long-term also solutions. I cannot agree more with what has been mentioned by Mr. Issa and Mr. Jaafer, that a law has to be issued. Okay, I think we need it now at this moment. Okay, like anti-sectarian or law that will punish anyone who by words or by acts try to divide the community. I think while we are speaking now, there are people, and unfortunately they are considered as leaders, okay, in the community. Go to the social media and see what they are tweeting, what they are writing, and they have followers of, some of them, thousands and
hundreds of thousands probably.
Exactly, and even more. So they are clearly, okay, sometimes directly influence, agitate the young people, okay, and sometimes indirectly, okay. So I think we are still tolerant with those people. I think we need to stop them, okay. So this is one thing that we need to do now. Now, realistically speaking, I am afraid really that if we don't take assertive actions, okay, as soon as possible, we might face tragic incidents. I hope not, but realistically speaking, we might, okay. So we need to take actions. Long-term plan, roadmap, like to revisit the curriculums, educational curriculums. I believe I think the people who are young or older, okay, I think it is difficult to fix their mentalities now, but we can start with kids, okay. We need to revisit the curriculums, okay, make sure they will not be in any mean misinterpreted, okay, by the young or by the kids. So these are two important. I know they are not quick fix, okay, items.
Yeah, they'll take a generation.
Exactly, exactly. But at least if we have a clear vision that, like, after 20 years or 30 years even from now, that we will be, we will have a clear vision that we will not be tolerant with those people. I think if we have this vision now and we have clear roadmap to achieve this vision, I think this will motivate everyone in every corner in our country to work together to achieve this vision, okay, and cut the road among whoever, from outside, from inside, okay, to interfere and try to agitate the people and influence those terrorists to do the same incidents. So yeah, that's.
They're all small factors that that led to the easy recruitment of youth. I mean, most of the people being recruited to ISIS, who, aside from the people that are coming from the West and from European countries, you know, there are some people who came from the Gulf countries. We're talking about Saudi Arabia, the Emirates, Bahrain, Qatar, all the Gulf countries. And how that recruitment was easy for ISIS to draw them into their grasps and turn them into these monsters and these murderers who would willingly go and try to enter the women's section of a mosque and kill women and children. It must have happened in a way. And I'm not saying that we've said that, yes, we do have racism in our country that we need to address, and we need to put anti-racist laws that will or that should stop those who are intolerant at where they should be stopped. But the reason is that the racism that is there led the person or made the person be in that state of mind that would make him accept the fact that, yes, I have enemies, and that enemy is my enemy because he is not like me. So that kind of bred and harbored and nurtured that state of mind. So basically, I do agree with you, Mesha'al, that we need to place laws that will incriminate people who, unfortunately, on Twitter were saying that when they found out about the bombing in Al-Qatif, that when they found out that it was Shia, they said, oh, it's okay. And that person is probably works at a phone company, or he probably works in an office, or he's probably a teacher maybe, and you don't know it, but deep down inside he says that and he thinks it's okay when it's not. And even though that person is even worse than the person who made that bombing. We're going to go on a short break, and we'll be right back to continue with my guests. Stay tuned.
Very bad about what happened in the KSA, but I expect that this will stop because the government now have more focus on everything. So I expect this will not happen again. And for the family of the dead people, God, yani Allah please him, and they have to be patient because their sons and daughters will be in paradise, inshallah.
We're very sad for the incidents that happened in the eastern province of Saudi Arabia. Our condolences to the families. It's very sad that this could happen in this safe and peaceful country, and we hope, inshallah, this will never happen again. And we feel with our brothers and sisters who lost their loved ones, and inshallah it will never happen again.
I feel very sad for them because it happened in a mosque, and we are very all sad because they're the people who did in the mosque, and we are happy for just 2-3 people who did, no so much people.
Well, it was very sad to hear about this explosion, exactly, especially here in Saudi Arabia, where all there is peace and there is nothing like this. I'm here like from 12 years now, and never faced such a problem. It was very sad news.
It was a bad feeling. I hear this first time he making in Saudi Arabia.
I feel bad because they are my brother all, and when something like that, it's bomb in mosque, it's not good, and I think very bad.
I feel very sad for this, but inshallah I will pray for them.
Things that happen in Saudi Arabia regarding the bombs that happen in Qatif area and Damam area is really bad and sad for our image and loyalty regarding Saudi countries. Second, I hope that will not be happened and continuously for those people who are not believe in Allah and they are making conflict between the Shia and Sunnah in Saudi Arabia.
And welcome back, dear viewers. I'm joined here in the studio by Mr. Essa Al Moz'el. He's a previous elected member of the Qattif Municipality Council, and Mr. Jaafer Al Shayeb. He's a writer and human rights activist. Dr. Ali Al Hamad, a dentist at Aramco Hospital, and Mr. Mesha'al Al Enaizy, a training professional, all residents here in the Eastern Province who are joining me in this special program to talk about the latest terrorist attacks that have struck the Eastern Province. Now, before the break, me and Mesha'al were talking about how the only way that these attacks can bear their fruits to ISIS and our enemies is that if they cause discord between the Saudis, if they cause a rift between the Sunnis and the Shia, if they break that unity that is built around Saudi Arabia. Dr. Ali, before the break, you wanted to comment, and I'd like to give you that chance on commenting on what we had to say.
What I would like to say is that in a case like this, there are people that say that these people are targeting Islam, or they want to portray it in a bad way. Well, I don't think so. I think that our wealth is what's being targeted now. There are a lot of people that are eager to divide this blessed country and probably take power over it and steal its wealth. And if you see the terrorist attacks that happened in the past and affiliated with Al-Qaeda, it was obvious that those terrorist attacks were targeted at manipulating the government and its policies, and they were trying to influence the governments. But these attacks by ISIS are different. These are meant at breaking the national unity. They're meant at breaking our country down to weaken it, and which will allow them to take control over it. So this is an existential threat. This is not like any other terrorist act. And what I wanted to say is that radicalism and extremism are very, very powerful tools. They're powerful tools because they can move people. And if you radicalize people, you can use them to serve your interests. And our youth was the target of these people, and that happened unfortunately in mosques, in schools, in extracurricular activities, in books, in cassettes, and now in social media and in websites. Because the best weapon is always a weapon from within, from inside. So they're not using outside weapons to break up our country. They're using inside weapons. They're using our youth, our kids, our young people, radicalize them and use them against their fathers, their cousins and their country. For every terrorist act, there must be a physical weapon and there must be a mental weapon. The physical weapon is a gun or a bomb, but the mental weapon is the justification for it. And the justification for it is what manifests as hate speech. The mental weapon that was used in these two latest attacks is the sectarianism. They justify their attacks by sectarian speech. The mental weapon that was used again in the attacks against foreigners is xenophobia. The fear from foreigners and hate of foreigners. So we should always look at these weapons. It's true, we need a better security measures to prevent explosives and things and weapons from being smuggled into the country, but we also need to fight these mental weapons. We need to find these cracks and seal them. We need to strengthen the social fabric of this country. So I really agree with all of you that we need to have a zero tolerance policy against hate speech, against sectarian speech, against alienating other people, against racism, against all of these cracks in our society that these people could could utilize and could manipulate against us. Those people, those 4 people, have sacrificed themselves trying to save us. They sacrificed their lives to protect us, to protect the praying, the men that were praying inside the house. And we need also to sacrifice. We need to look in our books, we need to watch our media, we need to sacrifice, we need to eliminate these people that are spreading this virus, this extremism virus, eliminating them from our community to have a stronger community and a stronger country.
Well said, well said.
Yes.
Dr. Ali. And of course, among the best, in my opinion, response that happened after the bombing, the latest bombing in Al-عنود, Ms. Al-Arbash, who her son was murdered in the attack. His life was taken, and she sent out a statement, and that statement was against everything that ISIS was hoping was going to happen, which was the break of the unity. And at the end of the statement that she said, she extended her condolences to the mother of the young man that committed the attack, the terrorist that committed the attack. She sent her condolences to his mother and said that I know that your heart is broken as mine is because you've lost your son. Now, she did not lash out and hate, and even the mother of that son, of that man who committed the attack, even the mother, his mother, she extended her condolences to his mother, and that was, in my opinion, the best response that she could have made in showing that these events are relatively isolated when you pick them out from the Saudi community. Mr. Essa, I want to ask you what your take on what your take is on the people working with the government in ensuring the safety and ensuring that no more of these attacks occur. In the beginning of the program, I said that the most we can do is limit the effect, but to completely be able to identify a terrorist attacker as he is walking towards the mosque or the mall or the school, the best thing you can do is stop him at the door. Anything better than that is done through the intelligence efforts of the government. But what can we do as a society to help the security forces and do the part that we can in in keeping our community safe and working with security officials in making them do their job better?
I agree with you that we cannot eliminate the threats completely, because when they are terrorists, the weapon is killing people. They can find people everywhere.
Their weapon is surprise. That's what their weapon is.
The
basically.
weapon of terror. They don't just want to kill. They want to kill and they want to terrorize people. They want to show it off. They want to show everybody that we will kill you. We cut off your head.
Yeah.
So they're going to do it. So what we can do is to avoid as much damage as possible. What happened in Anoud proves that something can be done.
Yes.
If God forbid they targeted Anoud first, hundreds would have been murdered. Now what happened was they targeted a small mosque first. Then we were aware. So we have taken certain steps. We could take also other steps in the malls and gatherings. So we need to know that we are in a war.
Yes.
They have declared war against the kingdom, the nation. So us as a government and as a people, we have to be ready to be involved in this war. Now, certain things have to be done by the government and certain things have to be done by the people, and sometimes together. A law has to be issued, but shouldn't take 5 years being debated in the Majlis al-Shura. It should be done by a royal decree.
Yeah.
The king himself declared something after what happened in Qudih. This has to be reflected in a royal decree, which has the power of a law that will criminalize anybody who would spread hatred and racism and sectarianism. Secondly, the government has to be involved, just like they go after protecting the Westerners everywhere in the kingdom, oil establishments and what have you. They need to be involved a little bit more. Protecting those are targeted now. Now they could target everybody, but now we know that they are targeting the eastern province. They are targeting Shiites in the eastern province.
Yeah.
So we need to get more help from the government. Secondly, we need to get the people involved. We should not shy away from getting the help from the people themselves.
Yes.
We have shown those four heroes. They have shown, because they got involved. They have prevented the death of hundreds of people. This could spread around the kingdom. And also, by the way, we need to be aware that things could happen in Riyadh or in Jeddah. We need to be pessimistic. We need to be overreactive in Albert. You see what happened in 9/11 also there, taken it as an example, they overreacted in regard to coming up with laws that would restrict even their freedoms. They would allow them to protect the people, overprotect them. Before they had freedom of movement, freedom of speech, so they limited it because they were in a war.
Yeah.
We are in a war, so we have to be ready for it. And as a government, as a people, we have to take the right steps to reduce the effect of this terrorism.
Well, and Mr. Jaafer Al Shayeb, how would you input? How would you comment on that?
I totally agree with my colleagues here on their suggestions and ideas, and I may add here that there is a role on the political leadership of the country to take on this situation, which is to clearly criminalize sectarian acts or speeches, and also to take serious measures about radicalism in the country that is growing, and we should stop it. Also, it is very responsible also on the religious leaders as well, in the community as a whole, Sunnis and Shia. I think they play a very important role in talking to people, speaking to them, influencing the masses. I think it is very important for them just to play a neutralizer in this situation. Finally, I believe that maybe some of the social initiatives, let's say it, may help also in getting people together and getting more solidarity between people, more communications, better understanding, and also to corner those people who are using the hate speech, okay, through different media, collecting their information, collecting what they are saying, or their speeches, their writings, make them clear like what they are saying is wrong and it's not acceptable by the community. I think that would help as well.
And Dr. Ali, is there any last word you'd like to add?
Well, I really don't want to cry on the air, but I really want to pay my respect to my cousins, especially my friend Hamad Al Arbash. He was a very, very nice guy. I have a lot of good memories with him. He was such a sweetheart, and his loss really, really affected me. Hamad Al Isa also, I didn't know him much, but I saw him with his mother once, and they were very, very fond of each other, and they were like best friends. Abdul Jalil also is a very sweet guy. Their parents have raised heroes, and their sacrifice should be a wake-up call to all of us.
Indeed.
It's time to try to eliminate all kinds of even the smallest discrimination, racism or sectarianism or hate speeches that terrorists could get through and attack our community.
Thank you. And Mr. Mesha'al.
Yeah, I just want to comment on Mr. Jaafer regarding the religious leaders. I think they need to be part of the solution, while they are currently, in my opinion, not. Okay, they need to be part of the solution. They need to avoid putting oil on the fire and agitate people. Simple things everyone can do. One thing I did, okay, which is I don't accept any sectarian messages. I'm like anyone, okay, subscribe to like WhatsApp groups. I did exit from 2 groups, okay, when I saw sectarian messages, even jokes. I did exit, okay, from those groups. This is simple things. It delivers a message, okay, to those people that I am against this. Okay, this is one simple action everyone can do. Okay. Another thing, okay, initiatives, okay, good initiatives need to be supported by the community and by the government. 2 years back, we tried a group of people to do in Ramadan like breakfast gathering, okay, with a title like "No for Sectarianism." Okay, so that initiative was not really supported by the community, okay, and I think the time has come for a real support, okay, from everyone, community, the government, for such initiatives which will bring the people together.
Well, Mr. Essa, we are ending the show, and I'd like to give you the last word.
Please, thank you very much. I'd like 1 minute just to give an example of what could be done. We need a decisive measure. We have a decisive king. Just a couple of days after the attack in Qadih, he issued this very important statement, if you allow me to read it.
Go ahead.
The king said, "We were pained by the enormity of the crime of this terrorist aggression, which contradicts Islamic and humanitarian values." And then he went to say, "Any participant, planner, supporter, or sympathizer with this heinous crime will be held accountable, tried, and will receive the punishment he deserves." This, which should be, based on this, we should have a royal decree criminalizing hate and sectarian and racism.
And I have all utmost faith that the king will not let us down. I'd like to thank my guests, Mr. Essa Al Moz'el, previous elected member of the Qatif Municipality Council, along with Mr. Jaafer Al Shayeb, a writer and human rights activist, Dr. Ali Al Hamad, dentist at Aramco Hospital, and Mr. Mesha'al Al Enaizy, training professional. I'd like to thank them all for joining me on the program. I'd like to thank my colleague, Abdurrahman Azayani, for all the help and support he extended to me today as I came to Dammam to do this episode. You've been a big help, Abdurrahman. Thank you so much. And of course, I'd like to thank Director Badr Al Ali. It's wonderful working. Ali Abdul Muhsin, I'm sorry, I haven't worked with him I haven't worked with Ali Abdul Muhsin in over 7 years, and I was happy to see him, but I was not happy to finally realize I didn't know his name. So a final thank you to all those who helped me out, and I'd like to thank the viewers for watching. And with one final word, I'd like to say that to the attackers of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, our unity will not fall, and we will stand together against our enemies with our king and with our government. Thank you very much for watching. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.